Okay, this is a continuation of our discussion, and we mentioned from our previous lecture that rocks are made up of aggregates of one or more minerals. Okay, natatandaan nyo ba? And these are the characteristics of minerals. It is natural, solid, inorganic, with definite chemical composition, and crystal structure. So, unang-una, ang minerals daw ay natural kasi nafo-form yan through natural processes sa ating mundo and ibig sabihin, hindi po siya ginagawa ng tao. So, they can form in a variety of environment katulad na lang sa pinakadulo or pinakailalim ng Earth's crust or nafo-form ito from volcanic activities from our previous discussion. Diba, saan ba nanggaling ang igneous rocks? From volcanic activities, as well as the sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. Or pwede ring ma-form ang minerals through the evaporation of water. Okay? Second is, it is solid. So, palagi niyong tatandaan na ang minerals ay meron siyang definite shape or definite volume, unlike sa liquid and gas. So yung solid state ng minerals, inaalaw niya na ma-maintain niya yung kanyang stable na structure. Okay? Third is, minerals are inorganic. So ibig sabihin, they are not made from living organisms. Okay? Again, they are not made from living organisms. Wala silang carbon, walang hydrogen bonds, which are typically nanggagaling or meron ang mga organic materials. So most minerals, they are composed of elements or compounds that are not derived from biological processes. Okay? Next, definite chemical composition. Ibig sabihin, bawat minerals meron silang specific chemical formula na nagde-describe sa kanilang composition. Later on, makikita nyo yung iba't ibang chemical formula ng minerals na kailangan nyong i-memorize. So, ibig sabihin, ang minerals ay made up of a fixed ratio of elements. Okay, for example, yung quartz, it is always made of silicon and oxygen. Okay? So, yun, later on, makikita nyo nga yung iba't ibang primary and secondary minerals with respect to their chemical formula. Okay? Next is crystal structure. Ibig sabihin, minerals have a distinct internal arrangement of atoms. Okay? Na nagbibigay sa kanila ng kanilang specific crystal structure. And yung binabanggit nating structure na yan, nagre-result yan from how the atoms bond together and kung paano ba nila ina-arrange yung kanilang sarili in a three-dimensional pattern. And itong arrangement na to, nakaka-influence yan sa minerals' physical properties, katulad na lang ng hardness, okay, appearance, and etc. For example, sa crystal structure ng halite, later on, makikita niyo yan. Or yung tinatawag nating table salt. Ayan. May kanya-kanya yung chemical formula or chemical composition. Okay, next. We also mentioned from our previous discussion that there are two types of minerals. These are the primary and secondary minerals. So yung primary minerals, it exists in their original state. So meaning, the primary minerals are those that have not undergone any alteration or transformation since they were formed. Okay, walang pagbabago. Okay, hindi nagkaroon ng pagbabago sa kanilang physical characteristics. So typically, nagkikrystallize sila directly from magma or nagsosolidify sila from molten rock. So ibig sabihin, nare-retain nila yung kanilang original minerals na na-form during the geological processes or during the volcanic eruption. For example, nabanggit na natin to. Example ng primary rocks are the quartz, feldspar, and mica. Okay, kung natatandaan nyo po. And again, primary minerals are resistant to decomposition. Generally, more resistant sila to weathering and decomposition compared to secondary minerals. So, ibig sabihin, itong resistance nila, inaalaw nito na ang primary rocks ay mapanatili niya yung kanyang original form over a long period of time kahit na na-expose na sila sa iba't ibang environmental factors katulad ng water, temperature changes, and chemical reaction. So yung durability nila, nakakapag-contribute ito sa presence nila sa lupa and sediments. Okay? Next is, as primary minerals weather and breakdown, nakaka-contribute sila sa sand and silt fractions ng ating lupa. So for instance, kapag ang granite natin ay nag-undergo ng weathering process, it can break down into sand-sized particles of quartz and feldspar. Okay? So sana nakokonekta ninyo yung discussion natin sa minerals from our discussion sa rocks and doon sa chapter 1 natin. So, ito, balik tayo dito kay source of sand and silt. So, these minerals provide essential nutrients and influence soil properties katulad ng texture and drainage. Yung presence ng primary minerals natin sa ating lupa ay napaka-crucial pagdating sa soil fertility and overall health ng ating ecosystem. Okay? Now, kay secondary minerals naman, it is from chemical breakdown of the least resistant primary minerals. So, ibig sabihin, si secondary minerals natin ay nabubuo through the chemical weathering of primary minerals, particularly na yung mga less resistant sa decomposition. So, pasensya na kayo kung medyo maingay kasi ako po ay nasa apartment. And, ayan, balik tayo dito. And kapag itong mga primary minerals natin ay na-expose sa environmental factors katulad ng water, air, and other environmental conditions, they can undergo chemical reactions na kung saan nabe-break sila into panibagong minerals. So yung process na to ay it often involves the alteration of the original minerals structure and composition. Ibig sabihin, may nagbago na. Okay? Parang siya, nagbago na. Joke lang. Balik tayo doon sa discussion. So yung process ay, yun nga, balik tayo, nag-undergo na ng alteration or pagbabago ng kanyang original mineral structure and composition. So common secondary minerals include, ayan, clay minerals katulad na lang ng kaolinite. Okay, familiar? And elite, which arise from the weathering of feldspar. So again, si feldspar, isa siyang primary mineral and kapag nag-undergo na siya ng weathering process and weathering and decomposition process, okay, matatransform na siya into clay minerals katulad na lang ng kaolinite and elite. Okay? So si secondary minerals, ito naman yung main contributor sa clay fractions natin sa ating lupa. So as the primary minerals weathers, the smaller particles that result are often clay-sized. Okay? Yung clay minerals natin, meron silang unique properties such as high surface area and may ability rin sila to retain water and nutrients. Na alam naman natin na crucial siya for soil fertility. And aside from that, ano pa ba? They also play a significant role in the physical and chemical behavior ng ating lupa. So, nai-impluwensyahan nito yung drainage natin, compaction ng lupa, and yung nutrient availability. So, compared kay sand and silt, of course, si sand and silt, unahin muna natin si sand, mababa yung water holding capacity niya. Ibig sabihin, na-drain ka agad. Si silt naman, katamtaman lang yung water holding capacity niya as well as the nutrient holding capacity. Pagdating naman kay clay, of course, maliliit yung particles niya. Ibig sabihin, mas nare-retain niya yung water and nutrient. However, prone siya sa compaction. So, nagkakaroon pa rin tayo ng problema pagdating sa drainage. Okay? So, yan na. I hope na pagko-connect-connecta na natin yung formation ng lupa sa kanyang, kung paano ba siya nabuo and kung saan siya nanggaling. Okay? So sabi nga natin, nanggaling si lupa from the weathering of rocks. And si rocks naman, nanggaling siya sa one or more or sa aggregate ng one or more minerals. Ayan. Okay, next. These are the common examples of primary minerals. The olivine or olivine, biotite, yan, plagioclase, augite, muscovite, feldspar, hornblende, plagioclase na merong mataas sa calcium, and quartz. Yan, madali lang siyang intindihin. Kasi nga, wala namang pagbabago sa kanyang characteristics. Walang alteration, walang transformation. However, pagdating na po dito kay secondary minerals, ayan na. Okay? So, again, si secondary minerals, ulitin ko lang, gusto ko lang i-reiterate, these are minerals formed from the alteration of primary minerals. So, they are often formed through chemical weathering. So, let's break down these types of secondary minerals. So, the first one is silicate clay minerals or yung tinatawag nating aluminosilicates. Okay, anong ibig sabihin yan? So, itong aluminosilicates natin ay, these are groups of minerals that contains silicon, oxygen, and aluminum na na-form during weathering of rocks. And examples of these silicate clay minerals or aluminosilicates are phyllosilicates. Okay. Ito ay klase ng clay minerals katulad na lang ng kaolinite na madalas na-form by the breakdown of feldspar and mica. Okay? Hopefully malinaw. And alam ko medyo nakakalito to, kaya kailangan nyo talagang aralin. Next is the soluble minerals. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay mga minerals na mabilis ma-dissolve sa tubig and can be transported by water. Okay? Examples are carbonates and sulfates. Okay? Si carbonates, ang example niyan is si calcite and si dolomite. So, itong minerals na to ay nafo-form sa mga lugar na kung saan, nafo-form siya sa lugar katulad na lang ng oceans or lakes. Si sulfates naman, example niyan is si gypsum. This is common mineral in dry regions. Okay? Next, oxides or hydroxides of aluminum and iron. Or ito yung tinatawag nating sesquioxides. Okay? Anong mas mahirap? Scientific name ng crops, scientific name ng animals, or si soil science na hindi natin alam kung saan kinuha, kung saan ba hinugot yung mga pangalan ng minerals. So, reminder lang, pangalan pa lang yan ng minerals, wala pa tayo sa lupa. Okay? So, balik ulit tayo dito. Si sesquioxide, these are minerals from the weathering of rocks that contains iron or aluminum. Ayan. And examples niyan ay si gibbsite. Okay? It is a form of aluminum hydroxide na madalas natatagpuan sa tropical soils. Okay, sa lupa natin. Ayan, tropical region. Okay, next example of sesquioxide is the goethite and hematite. May hematite na ata tayo. And hematite. So, ang common iron oxides that gives soils a reddish or brownish color. So, dahil kay goethite and hematite, dahil dyan sa chemical composition niya, ito yung nagbibigay ng kulay red or brownish color sa lupa natin. So parang sa tao, kapag, di ba yung lupa natin, ay yung lupa tuloy. Sa tao, yung blood natin, tumataas kapag may iron. So yung blood, color red. So i-connecta natin sa lupa. Kapag mataas yung iron niya, nagkakaroon siya ng color reddish or brownish in color. Yan, para mas madali niyong tandaan. Okay, next, amorphous. Okay? Pag sinabi nating amorphous, non-crystalline type siya ng secondary minerals. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, these are clay minerals na walang or halos walang well-defined crystal structure. Wala siyang crystal structure. Unlike kay dito, kila silicate, soluble minerals, and sesquioxides. So, ang example ng amorphous ay ito, allophane and immogolite. So, madalas nafo-form ito from the volcanic ash ng lupa na kung saan alam naman natin no, yung itsura ng volcanic ash. Okay? So, since galing si allophane and immogolite sa volcanic ash, so ang kanyang texture ay soft and porous. Ibig sabihin, buhaghag, fine textured. Hmm. Yan, ito na. Ito na. Nag-end. Ayan. So these are the primary and secondary minerals na natatagpuan sa ating lupa with respect sa kanilang chemical composition. Okay? Ayan yung kailangan yung i-memorize. Kayanin nyo kasi wala tayong choice, kundi kayanin. So unahin natin si primary minerals. Andyan si quartz, muscovite, orthoclase, biotite, alibite, hornblende, augite, anorthite, olivine, and mica. Okay. So, ang ibig sabihin lang naman nitong formula na yan, for example, dito kay quartz, alam niyo naman na no, yung mga chemical formula ng bawat elements, right? So, ibig sabihin, Si and O, si quartz ay made of silicon and oxygen. And si quartz, abundant and stable yan sa, abundant and stable form yan ng minerals and with a simple silica composition. Ayan. Pagdating naman dito kay muscovite, mas complex siya. It contains potassium, ayan, yung K, aluminum, and then silica, oxygen, and hydroxyl groups. Okay, so si muscovite, it is a type of mica, okay, na nagfo-form ng layer and making it easy to split. Next, si orthoclase naman, it contains potassium, aluminum, silica, and oxygen. So it is a feldspar mineral na napaka-importante sa igneous rocks na kung saan yung arrangement ng elements na to ay nagfo-form ng crystalline structure. Okay? Next, si biotite. Ayan. It contains potassium, aluminum, magnesium, iron, silica, oxygen, and hydroxyl group. So it is a dark type of mica na kung saan ang nagbibigay ng color ng biotite ay yung presence ng iron and magnesium. Next is si alibite. Mas simple siya kaysa sa ibang chemical formula. Again, si alibite, ayan, andyan, it contains sodium, aluminum, silicon, oxygen. And again, this is a type of feldspar mineral na merong mataas na sodium, and kapag nag-undergo siya ng weathering process, it can turn into clay minerals. Hornblende. Ang haba ng kanyang chemical formula. Nandyan si calcium, aluminum, magnesium, iron, silicon, oxygen, and other hydroxyl groups. So it is a part of amphibole, okay, na nabanggit natin kanina, and it is rich in both ferromagnesian elements and silica. Okay? Next is si augite. Meron din siyang calcium, aluminum, iron, magnesium, iron, silicon, and oxygen. Okay, si augite naman, it is a pyroxene mineral na na-form from basalt and other igneous rocks. Next is si anorthite. It contains calcium, aluminum, silicon, and oxygen. It is a calcium-rich feldspar na again matatagpuan sa igneous rocks. Next, si olivine. Okay, it contains magnesium, iron, silicon, and oxygen. Okay, si olivine, mabilis siyang mag-weather. So ito, yung mga nababanggit nating mabilis mag-weather na primary rocks, ito yung nata-transform into secondary rocks. Okay? So si olivine, mabilis mag-weather and it contains, yun nga, nabanggit na natin, magnesium, iron, silicon, oxygen, and it mabilis siyang mag-weather, especially sa mga moist na environment due to the high content of ferromagnesian elements. Okay? Last, si mica. Okay? Meron siyang potassium, silicon, aluminum, oxygen, and hydroxyl groups. So, si mica, it is a silicate mineral na meron siyang layered structure, making it easy to break into thin sheets. Okay, tapos na tayo sa composition ng primary minerals. Now, let's move on sa secondary minerals. Okay? So, si secondary minerals, ayan si goethite, hematite, gibbsite, clay minerals, specifically si kaolinite, okay, dolomite, calcite, and gypsum. So si goethite, it contains iron, oxygen, and hydroxyl groups. So this is common iron hydroxide minerals na napo-form from weathering of primary iron-rich minerals. So halos lahat dyan meron namang iron, no? Ayan. For example, yan si biotite. Ayan. And hematite. Again, it contains iron and oxygen, and it is an iron oxide formed from the weathering of iron-bearing minerals na nagbibigay ng, again, reddish color ng lupa. Okay? Next is si gibbsite. Medyo malakas na yung ulan. Si gibbsite, it contains aluminum, oxygen, water molecules. And this mineral is an aluminum hydroxide and forms in tropical environments na nabubuo during the weathering of feldspar and other aluminum-rich minerals. Okay? Next, clay minerals, specifically the kaolinite. And it contains aluminum, silica, oxygen. Okay? Next, si dolomite. It contains calcium, magnesium, carbon, and oxygen. And si dolomite, it is a carbonate mineral na na-form through the reaction of water-containing dissolved carbon dioxide with calcium and magnesium rocks. Okay? Next, si calcite. Alam ko, malilito kayo dito. Si calcite, it contains calcium, carbon, and oxygen. So, si calcite, it is the most common form of calcium carbonate and nabubuo ito sa lupa from the dissolution and precipitation ng calcium-bearing minerals. Alin ba dito sa primary minerals ang may calcium? Ayan. So itong mga minerals na to, nagkakaroon ng alteration and nabubuo si calcite, which is secondary mineral. Next, si gypsum. Okay, si gypsum, it contains calcium, sulfur, oxygen, and water molecules. So it is a sulfate mineral na napo-form sa lupa with high evaporation. And napo-form ito kung saan mataas yung concentration ng dissolved ions na nagli-lead sa precipitation. Okay? So kung nalilito kayo sa formation and chemical composition ng ating primary and secondary minerals, ulit-ulitin nyo lang panoorin ang ating lectures. Okay? So I know, mahirap siyang intindihin and naiintindihan ko rin na mahirap siyang i-memorize. That's why ngayon pa lang, aralin yung maigi and mag-start na po kayong mag-memorize. So for our next discussion, ayan na, yung factors of soil formation.